Shalom.
Shalom.
All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. You know, double honors to the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone.
That's right.
And shalom to the Akim that are teaching this word.
Shalom.
Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'akatam. Shalom. Hey, we're just going to just do an open forum and just go in the spirit, man. You know, we're living in the end days, you know. And, like we say, man, you know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you're the children of Israel, man. That's who you are. And we know it according to the Bible. We know who we are according to the Bible. We know who everyone on the earth is according to the Bible, man. So we just go in the spirit, but I'll start on this here, Deuteronomy 28. All right? I'll read it, right, yeah? It says, Deuteronomy, and it's the spirit because now, it's been coming out more about the Greeks and the Greek and the Jew. And brother's been breaking it down that's all Israel.
Gentiles.
Yeah. So that's the spirit. And we'll even speak about that, you know, that's the spirit. Because GreatMillStone been pushing that the Gentiles are Israelites, and what's been happening through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Brothers have been coming in from all corners of the earth, man. You know, Philippines, wherever, Germany, Turkey, wherever the case may be, brothers have been waking up. And what are they doing? Praising Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, man. You know, I'll start on Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Oh, you know what? Even I'll start on 37, right? Because I'll start on 37. Deuteronomy 28 and 37, it says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee." And that's talking about the Israelites, man. That's one of the curses upon you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Wherever we're scattered, guess what? We're a proverb and an astonishment, and a proverb and a byword, which is you're not being called by who you really are. You're being called by derogatory names. And that happens to even the Gentiles, man. Look at in Elam land, you got Israelites over there. Straight up Jakes, you know, over there, speaking Elam languages and stuff. Straight up Jakes. You'd think you're in Ghana, man. Some of those videos you see, you think you're in Ghana or the West Coast.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're being called by a proverb and a byword, man, over there.
Yeah. Oh, you got the cities.
The cities.
Yeah. You got the different class systems, and the way they do it is the darker the Elamite is, like the person is, the more hell you catch, and they looked at like the lowest in society and all that. They're Jake. A lot of them are Jake.
Jakes, exactly. But that shows you that, hey, the seed, and they were scattered there through the Arab slave trade and stuff like that, you know. But guess what? That shows you that they're Israelites, man. But that's what Scripture says: an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. In the land of America, what do they call you, so-called Negroes? Well, being called a nigger or a black, that's not a nationality, man. That's a terminology put on you by your slave master, man. You know, that's how we know we're the Israelites too, man. You know what I'm saying? Because of exactly what these scriptures say, man. You got something like that?
No, it says in Deuteronomy about they're gonna be it's a sign.
It's a sign
on you forever. That's how you know, because how you look at a people and think, you know what? Oh, these people might be Jake. They might have Jake among them, because we know that they're dispersed, which I can get in this precept. But that's how you know through the curses, man. It's because it's a sign on them, you know.
It's a sign.
It's a spirit. You can get this precept.
Go ahead.
It says Isaiah 11 and 12, "And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth." And that's being done pretty much through this word, through Yahawashi, you know. The Lord is actually bringing back, because it says outcasts of Israel and gather together dispersed of Judah, man. So that pretty much encompasses Israel and Judah. Pretty much encompasses the whole 12 tribes, man. All of Israel, pretty much, man.
Yep.
You know, Jacob's children, man.
Yep.
And that's who salvation is for, and that's going to come through this word, come through Yahawashi, which Yahawashi's name means. He's his deliverer, the savior. You know.
And he said the dispersed of Judah, right?
Yeah.
So that's one tribe, bro. Yeah. Imagine all 12 tribes are scattered.
Yeah, and it says from the four corners of the earth. So that means that we're dispersed everywhere, among all these different heathen nations. Yeah. You know, so you're gonna get Jakes that are gonna look, and they're gonna talk the language of that place. They're gonna follow maybe the customs of that place.
Yeah, and it's the spirit, because the brothers were going into that as well. You know, the Greek Empire, went on for 400 plus years, 400, 500 years. You know, went on for. So in that time period, you had Jakes amalgamating amongst Esau and whatever nations was in that time in around the area, because you would have had the other nations there too, just like you see today. And they were amalgamating, but predominantly with Esau, following the customs, and then you lose your way, man. Over a period of 500 years, you're going to lose your way, man. All right, and then fast forward to today, the captivity we've been in today, we got even more scattered. You know?
Yeah.
So that only makes sense that the seed of the Israelite man is among all the nations. It makes sense because over years and years of being around these other nations, the Israelite man is gonna have sex with the women, man, and that's true. And what happens? They have their seed, and their lineage continues on, man, and it's right until this day, because your line never dies. It just goes through your fathers, man.
Yeah.
Goes through the man. So the Israelites are scattered, and that's why when Yahweh Shai comes, he's gonna do the marvelous work of pulling his people from everywhere, and it's gonna shock the world. But guess what? They're Israelites.
I've got a precept for you.
on now.
You're talking about Greece.
Yeah.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 11.
Yeah.
In those days when they're out of Israel, and these days we're talking about pretty much the Greek Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it said, in those days when they're out of Israel, wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
Mm-hmm.
For since we departed from them.
that was Antioch, the Greeks, basically, when they conquered Israel, Jerusalem. Right, basically they were obviously had their laws implemented, man. So then you had Jakes that was like, it said wicked men, right?
Yeah.
Because you had wicked Israelites that basically they were catching hell, so they said, fuck it, we're gonna keep their customs, we ain't gonna keep our customs. So what was part of the customs of the Greeks, man? To shave your beard, eating the swine's flesh, you know, gymnos, the way they had a way that they dressed, you know.
They had their own. The Greeks had their own customs in terms of their religious,
their belief system.
Beliefs, yeah.
They had their own god.
Yeah.
So that's what Jake was doing, man. You know, because why? They were catching hell, so they said, look, it would be better for us to follow them rather than catch hell, because they didn't want to catch hell. Just like you see in today's society, all these Jakes, we know what they're Israelites, right? All these Jakes, if they don't want to do, like, you got Jakes that say shalom and all that, and they know that they're Israelites now, but guess what? They're not going to want to give up the goodies, man, in Esau's realm.
Yeah, because they ain't got the faith.
And it's the same thing today. So that's what it said there. So they were following the customs of the Greeks back then. So imagine it's like when you grow up as a kid, bro, your parents teach you a certain way to live and that. And what happens? It becomes a part of you, innit? Like habits. So imagine over the years now, Jake was following the Greek customs now. They had children and they implemented that in their children's brain. Then their children's brain, then their children. It's an ongoing thing. Then what happens? You just totally forget who you are. That's common sense.
I got a quick precept before we go on.
Yeah.
This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 23. It says, by faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they... Sorry, I'll start from 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter because Moses grew up in Pharaoh's house. It says, choosing...
rich.
Yeah, he was rich. He had all so he was pretty much, they had the heathen customs, they had all that stuff. But what does it say? It says, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High
rather
than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
Exactly.
And that shows that really, when you come into this truth and you understand what's going on, that's really what we're doing. We're not amalgamating into Esau's, we're here, but we're not of this world. Like, we're not, so then your mentality's got to be through the faith of to actually be like, no, I'm a Hebrew Israelite.
But it says also, you're right, bro. And it says the pleasures of sin for a moment. Because it's really, everything around us is the pleasures of sin, man.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what them Jakes was doing back in the Greek Empire. They were what? They said, basically, they wanted the pleasures of sin, man. They didn't want to catch hell.
Yeah.
Because when Jake wakes up to who they are, then when we wake up to the fact that we're the Israelites and we start worshipping Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the world's going to come against you, and it's set up that way.
Yeah. And what did they say? We read it in Maccabees. They said the reproach.
Reproach, the hell.
The hell, pretty much. And then it says in verse 26 says, esteeming the reproach of Yahweh Shai greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured.
So he basically believed in his power.
Yeah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know?
Yeah.
Which was set up that way because the Lord made him be raised in Pharaoh's household. So he got raised decadently. Yeah. You know? But it was set up that way.
Yeah.
Because then the Lord obviously magnified his power through Moses, man. And Moses was a special man. Yeah. So imagine the Lord put him in that household where he had all that riches and that. But in the end, he said, no, fuck that, man. I'm going to worship my power and I'm going to be among my own people, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That's integrity.
Yeah. And it says
That's integrity, man. Because all these majority of these jakes out here, you think they would give up? They wouldn't give up 50 grand,
Nah.
let alone in Pharaoh's household. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They wouldn't give up 50,000, man.
Set out for a 30 grand deal.
They'll do anything. There's rappers, man. He said there's a rapper like a Big Pun. Yeah, there's a lyric he said, and he said basically he could get. He's bugged out. He's a bugged out nigga. There's a lyric he said that he could get a Jake to whack you for 5 grand. You know what I'm saying? Basically to kill you for 5. Showing you he's basically saying he can get niggas to whack you for 5 grand. Basically showing you how low a niggas are, man. They'll do anything for that little change.
Yeah.
So that shows you that they'll do for that 5 grand, bro. That's nothing. So it shows you how special Moses was, because he lived in a house of a king.
Yeah. He lived a certain lifestyle.
He lived however he wanted to.
And obviously
live.
Mizraim would live in a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, nah, forget that. I'm gonna live like what I am, a Hebrew Israelite.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And it says by faith, because the key thing is faith here. By faith he
Worship
forsook,
Yahweh,
because even we're talking about scattering, because you're gonna get people that are of the elect, brothers of the elect that are scattered out there, and they're gonna hear this word
And believe in their power.
It says, by faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible.
Yeah, so he basically the fleshly king Pharaoh.
Yeah.
He said not. Basically, the hell with Pharaoh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna worship Yahweh. That's the true power.
Yeah, that's how we curse out Esau, we curse out the Rothschilds and all that.
So he basically was telling the fleshly king,
Yeah.
the main guy at that kingdom,
yeah.
the hell with you, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna worship Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man.
Yeah.
And he said by faith, and it didn't say not seeing him, innit?
Invisible,
yeah.
Well, the scriptures say that surely thou art a power that hides thyself.
And we do the same thing today, man.
Yeah.
And the reason we believe in this scriptures and the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is by faith. And we believe it because the words have become alive to us now, innit? Like, yo, those curses, they fit us, man. We are the Israelites. We
Yeah.
know who Esau is. We know who everything is. And people can never understand what you know, because the Lord has to give you the spirit to understand this. That's why the scriptures says that the Gentiles are a mystery. Yeah, the Gentiles, you know, it's a mystery. It says the mystery of the Gentiles, man.
Yep.
You know?
I've got a precept.
Go on, huh?
This is Hebrews chapter 4 verse 2. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it.
Not being mixed with faith. So you can hear this word, but you gotta have the faith to really believe it. That's what the faith is like. It's like a booster.
Yeah.
It's like energy, man. The faith is like that power source. Faith, believing in the word, because people read the Bible, man. Many people read the Bible, but to them it's just a fairy tale.
Well, it's funny.
It's just a book.
Because Esau's got his carnal substances that like increase things, but the scriptures actually say faith is the substance of things hoped for. So it's actually a spiritual substance that the Lord gives you to have faith, you know.
An invisible gift.
Yeah.
Which will eventually be physical.
Yeah, and that's strength for salvation.
Strength for salvation, and it's funny because people read the Bible, bro. Yeah, like loads of people got the Bible, but they don't know the Lord's name.
Yeah.
That's another key, man. That's the main key. Because when you're reading the Bible in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, it becomes more open to you, man. Like, yo, the Lord opened your mind. He's dealing with you.
Yeah. Well, even that, like, because we talked about the mystery of the Gentiles. Yeah. Because everything comes in kind of like an order. Even if you think about it, the name of the Heavenly Father and His Son up in the heavens, like that in itself, like that is you just know the deep mystery that the Lord's revealed to you, you know. Because really, when the Lord through the Spirit, when the Lord gives you His name, that's basically the Lord calling you back. That's part of the calling, you know. Because now you've got the name, it's like you know your power, how to call on Him and all that. You know, the Lord's dealing with you pretty much, man. Yeah. You know, if you believe.
Yeah.
You want to go back in Maccabees?
Yeah.
Can. This is back in first Maccabees.
That name's important, man. That name is important, bro. That's what's drawing in the brothers too, man, from all over the world. The name of the Lord, man. That's drawing them in. Yahweh, who's that God, man? You get me? Then you start waking up. Then the Lord starts opening up the scriptures to you, and it's like it fits.
Yeah.
You know?
Can.
Go on, huh?
So this is back in first Maccabees chapter 1. I'll start from 11 again. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Yeah, a covenant, just like Yahweh Hashem Yahushai made a covenant with us through Moses,
Yep.
the laws. That covenant they made was to go and follow the laws of the heathen.
Yeah.
That's a covenant.
Yeah.
A covenant is when you follow the laws basically. So they said they basically denied their power to go follow, you know, and that's a part of the test because that's the Lord. That's a test the Lord puts before you, man. Because even us, we worship the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshai in this wicked world. That's a test for us, man. You know, hey, you're gonna follow these devils or you're gonna follow what I told you. But these Jakes, they went and followed the customs of the Greeks, man.
Yeah.
And that's part of history that a lot of people don't talk about. This history is important.
Yeah.
You know, like the Christians and that, they don't know the history of the Greek Empire. That's why when you read the Bible, when you see in the Romans, there's no Greek nor nor Jew. That's going back into this history here, because this is a big part of history. 400 or 500 years of Jake mingling with the Greeks. Of course, they were going to lose their customs, but they were Israelites.
Yeah. Well, that's why the scriptures talk about those that sigh and cry. The whole point is like you could, because the Lord said, well, he said, render unto Caesar what's due unto Caesar, even though it's an unrighteous decree, the way that this man is taxing us, for example, right? But we're at the moment we slaves. But what the scriptures are talking about in that sense is at the same time, for example, you're not meant to bow down to the image of the beast, pretty much. His philosophies and his wine that he's pushing out there.
That's what they were doing then.
Yeah, you know.
That's what they were doing then, isn't it? Yeah.
It says, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. That's right. So they were like, pretty much, look, man, we need to get down with these Greeks because since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Meaning, read that again, Salakia, read that again.
And it says, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Read it up a bit.
Okay, can. It says, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
Basically, let us worship the Greek way of life, man. Because when we ain't doing that, we're catching hell, basically.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing, man. So you got to imagine Jakes was, you know, shaving their heads bald, getting Mohegans, tattoos. Same things you see, what we see in today's society. Tattoos, you know, shaving, you know, getting into homosexuality, whatever, living lawlessly. Worshipping the gods of the other nations, you know. So you got to imagine if they're doing that over a period of time, you're going to totally lose your customs, man. And the reason we bring this out is because the Gentiles are Israelites, man. That's the point. So they're losing their way of life, basically. And yeah, and that's the same thing. You fast forward to today, well, fast forward to transatlantic slave trade, the same thing happened pretty much. Because in the transatlantic slave trade, the Jakes that were taken in captivity from the West Coast, they knew they were Israelites. They knew that they were the Hebrews. They kept certain customs. They used to keep the fringes on the West Coast and all that.
Yeah. So
when we went, and they circumcised their children on the 8th day, you know. So when we went into captivity under Esau this time round, what happened? Esau whipped that out of Jake, basically. Punished us to forget that, basically. Took away our names, all that sort of stuff. You know? That wasn't by coincidence. That was to basically make you a Greek, pretty much. You know? To lose your way. Now, even when that happened to Jake on the West Coast, you would have had Jake already scattered anyway, as well. You would have had Jake already scattered in other lands that already had been lost from who they were for years, you know. Hey, man, but this is why this is an important part of history, because it gives you an understanding of the Greek and the Gentile, the Greek and the Jew. There's no difference between Greek and Jew. The reason why Paul said that is because they were the same people, man. Go on, man. Sorry.
Got a quick precept for you.
Yeah, speak as well, man.
This is Psalms chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, because you were saying, look, it won't by no chance. Yeah. This is by design. You know, because
you always say that.
Yeah.
No, you always say that. You said that. You say that at camp as well. You said it was by design.
Yeah, because the elites know, man. The elites are privy to this knowledge.
They know the history.
Yeah, they know the history because they've got it away, and they've got their scholars, they've got their think tanks, they've pretty much got all the scrolls and stuff in their vaults, all the old books. They've got all that stuff. They've got like king's treasures. You know, they've got vaults full of like rubies that you've never seen, pure gold and certain things. We don't know about that stuff. We're gonna know. When this exchange happens. You know, that's when the riches that are got by deceit going to be translated, man. When the Yahushua returns. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance. And pretty much, up until the Lord pretty much had his prophets back out on the highways and byways, That's how it was. The name of Israel pretty much had been forgotten, man. You know, you might have had like a couple of pockets of like slaves here and there, you know, that have had be privy to that knowledge, but they weren't privy to the truth. You know, they weren't privy to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
And that's the thing as well. That's the important thing as well, bro. Is that who's the most important man in this thing, man? Yahweh Shai, bro. Well, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, but Yahweh through his son.
Yeah.
He's very important, man. You know, because he's the one that opens your mind up to things. He's the one that guides you, Yahweh Shai, man. He's the one that's gonna be the savior.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why Paul, when Paul went to the Gentiles, what was Paul teaching them? He was teaching them of the Lord.
Khan.
Yahweh Shai.
He's teaching them Yahweh Shai. That's what he was teaching them. Yahweh Shai Mashiach. That's what he was teaching
That's
them.
why even in some of Paul's letters, he said, look, there's one letter, he said, did I go on the cross for you?
No.
Like, you get me? He was cutting, he was cutting, and he was showing them, look, it's all about Yahweh Shai. We're just servants, but Yahweh Shai is important. That's why when Paul went to the Gentiles, he wasn't stressing them, keep the law, do this, do that. Really, he was teaching them about Yahweh Shai. But then if a man believes in Yahweh Shai, guess what that man's going to do? He's going to start keeping the law anyway. He's going to start doing, you know what I'm saying? He's going to start growing his beard, stop eating pork. You know, he's going to start doing things that are lawful, man. Because why? He has faith in Yahweh Shai. I got something for you.
Khan.
You going to bring yours out first?
I've got that.
Go on.
I've got what you call for, innit?
Go on.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 13. Is Mashiach divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Or were you baptized in the name of Paul?
Yeah, were you baptized in the name of Paul, man? Yeah, because Paul was doing the Lord's work, man. He was like, obviously they would have looked at Paul a certain way, innit? You know, but he's like, look, man, it's all about, he's basically telling them that, look, you have to have belief in who? Read it, he goes into it, innit?
Yeah, he says, I thank the Most High that I baptized none of you.
I thank Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Yeah.
But Crispus and Gaius, lest any should say that I had baptized in mine own name.
Exactly, because he didn't come in his own name. He was teaching of Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, that's what Jay trying to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
They'll look up to a guy, innit? A man, innit?
He says, and I baptized...
They'll look up to a man like he's the Lord.
Yeah.
But no man on this earth can save you, man.
Yeah. And really, that shows again, even back then, it was the word mixed with faith. Because really, that's how you know that there's an elect. Because Yahweh Shai, they were going to make him a king. He was like, nah, it's not my time. This ain't it. You know, and there was certain guys that, I remember one guy that was like, I wanted to follow the Lord. And the Lord said, nah, you know, because they weren't for him. And he says, and I baptized also the household of Stephanas. Besides, I know not whether I baptized any other. For Mashiach sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel.
Straight.
Not with wisdom of words.
Yeah, he sent me to teach the truth.
Yeah.
You know?
It says, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words.
And then, bro, let me say this too. Who preaches the gospel to the Gentiles in this time we're living in? Who's pushing the Gentiles? GreatMillStone, man.
Yeah, starting with Apostle Tahar on down.
On down, exactly.
You know?
It's Apostle Tahar on down, man. GreatMillStone pushes that Gentiles heavy because it's the truth, right? And who's basically got the great understanding of this word? GreatMillStone, man.
Yeah. Through
the Spirit. But who does GreatMillStone teach of? Yahweh Shai, man.
When
you first hear the apostles, they push Yahweh Shai hard, man.
Yeah.
Then you're like, that clicks in your brain like Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These other camps don't do that, man.
Well, he's the author and finisher of our faith.
Yahweh Shai.
Pretty much, he said, lo, I come in the volume of the book, it is written of me. Yeah. You got to know Yahweh Shai to understand this. You got to, because he's the word made flesh.
He's the one that stops it.
He's the word.
He's the word.
You know? It says...
He's important, man.
It says, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, should be made of none effect. Yeah. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved it is the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It goes on something else. Oh, no, hold on. Verse 22. I'll jump down to verse 22. For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom.
But you see, the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after. But basically, understanding, isn't it? Yeah. Basically, because you had the brothers you had the Jews in Israel, in the Judea that would have known that were the Israelites, and you know they had the fringes and all that, and then you had the Grecians, the Jakes that were just out there, and you know they didn't know who they were. But then guess what? Both of them never knew about Yahweh Shai that heavy, like, you know, like they weren't believing in Yahweh Shai.
Yeah. And even
Because ultimately, you can know you're an Israelite, right? And you look down on a Jake that don't know he's an Israelite. But guess what? You don't know Yahweh Shai, and that Jake that don't know he's an Israelite don't know Yahweh Shai. So you know different, you know, pretty much.
And I was just gonna say as well, like Yahweh Shai, even everything about Yahweh Shai is a stumbling block to those that can't believe. Because even the way he was born, because it said that he was going to be born in Bethlehem, which he was according to the prophecy. But then because of what happened with Herod, he fled into Egypt and he ended up coming back into Galilee. So people that met him thought, well, he's from Galilee. That in itself is like a stumbling block, because then they're going to look at the scriptures and they're going to be like, well, but he's not from Bethlehem. Oh, he can't be the Messiah, you know. So the Lord had it all set up where that's why he said to Peter, he said, flesh and blood have not revealed it unto you, but my Father
Spirit,
which is in heaven. It's the Spirit.
Yeah.
You know?
Because the Father is the one that gives Yahweh Shai, you know, the Father gives you the elect unto Yahweh Shai, and you have to believe on Yahweh Shai, man.
Yeah.
Because no man can come to, it says no man can come to the Father but by me, but the Father's the one who, you know, that's what he said, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
And it says,
but it's all about believing in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. That's the main thing. That's what we always push, man. That's why if a brother believes in Yahweh Shai and he's East Indian, he's Cantonese, he's from Hong Kong or whatever, but he believes in Yahweh Shai, leave him alone, man. He's a believer.
yeah. And it says, but we preach Yahweh Shai crucified, onto the Jews a stumbling block, and onto
because a lot of them rejected Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
They rejected him.
He's despised.
You're a son. You're a son of the you know. But in the end, they knew that's the man, you know. But then they still were just being demons.
But that's why it says in
They
Isaiah
rejected
53.
him, man, and they knew that they were Israelites. Hey, that's like a lot of guys today that have fringes on, but they don't preach in Yahweh Shai's name. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's
It
why
doesn't
it says,
matter. The name don't matter. That's them same dudes back then, man. Go on, now.
No, that's why it says in Isaiah 53, he is despised and rejected of men.
Yep.
You know? And it says, and unto the Greeks foolishness, but unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks.
Because you would have had Baghdad Jakes in the Grecian Empire. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said unto the Greeks foolishness, innit? Because you would have had them Israelite foreigners. Because look, we push the Israelite foreigners thing, but you're going to have a lot of Israelite foreigners that are going to die, man.
Yep.
We push the truth because that's the truth.
Yep.
But you're going to, like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, are they of the elect? I don't know. But if they're not, what's going to happen? They're going to die.
Yeah,
but they're Jakes.
Yep. It's true.
You know? So that's why I said that as well. You said unto the Grecians foolishness, because you would have Jakes, Baghdad Jakes. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I don't believe in all that. In the Grecian regions that Paul would have went.
Yep.
This is Corinth.
Yep.
Go on, huh?
And it says, but unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, the power of the, it says the power of the Most High, and the wisdom of the Most High.
The ones that believe.
Yep. And I've got a quick precept on that.
Go on, huh?
This is Isaiah 48 and 12, because it said called, and then it said Jews and Greeks. This is Isaiah 48 and 12. Hearken unto me, O Jacob, and Israel, my called.
My called, yeah. And when it said Jews and Greeks, this is a good scripture, because who's called unto the Lord? Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's lineage, which is who? Israelites.
Yeah, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and anyone else that descends through that line, man, through the fathers.
Right, so when it said now Greeks and Jews, that was talking about Israelites, because only they can believe on the Lord. That's a good scripture. Only they can believe in the Lord. Now, only that line can believe in the Lord.
Yeah.
Only that lineage is going to believe in the Lord. Only that lineage is the one that's going to receive the benefits of the kingdom.
Because even that shows that only Israel can be called into this. Because you're going to get Israelites that come into the truth and they're going to fall out because they were never of us. Right? And it says, my called, but that's why the scriptures say, many are called, but few are chosen. Because there's a chosen. And that's why we hope that we're of that chosen.
And I got a quick one for you. This is Psalms 106 and 34. It said, they did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them.
Well, there you go. It even says in the curses, it says pretty much they'll worship wood and stone, gods that your fathers have not known. Because our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they believed in Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
That's who they worship. They believed Yahweh, man.
Yep.
But hey, you got Elam over there, and Elam land bowing down to some Shiva, bowing down to some wood and stone. You got Moab,
and Jake's among them.
Yeah, and Jake's are among them.
To Sheba and
yeah. What even what in the time of what Mordecai?
Yeah.
He was saying basically he didn't want to bow and all that.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, he don't want to bow more. They want him. They want who? They want him to bow to. He didn't want to bow to Haman.
Yeah.
Mordecai. Yeah, he didn't want to bow to Haman.
Yeah, Elijah. Yeah. He didn't want to bow down to Baal.
Baal. Yeah.
You know. And what did the Lord say to him? He said, "I've reserved 7,000 that have not bowed the knee," and that represents the elect.
Yeah.
You know.
And then even in the time of the Maccabees, like we were reading, you had Jake's secretly worshipping. Because it goes into that. You had Jake secretly worshipping idols.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, swine flesh.
Yeah, sacrificing the swine's flesh on the altars.
Yep, yep.
And then also you had I lost my trail of thought there, man. So you had Jake's doing that, man, worshipping idols. And fast forward to today, brother, look who most of these Israelites worship. Serapis Christus.
Yeah, yeah.
Cesare Borgia, that's who they worship, man. It's in all over the house. That's idol worship. You don't even know you're idol worshipping when you put the cross on your neck with the false image of the Lord. That's idol worshipping. So Esau knows that, and Esau knows that.
He promotes that.
He
makes it a fashion.
But it's to get Jake.
Yeah.
You know, that's why even the Latin tribes they bow to that Cesare Borgia in Mexico hard, man. The Virgin Mary. It's all idol worship, man. Yeah. And the Lord, when the Lord comes, He's coming to destroy all the idols.
Yeah, that's happened all around the world, and that was happening even in America, man. With your Issachar and all that, they were bowing down to the sun. Yeah, right. They were doing human sacrifices and all that. That's been happening all around the world in different places for years, man, for centuries, and that's what that goes to show that what really the Lord said that. The ones that believe in Him are going to believe Him in spirit and in truth.
That's how you know all these people ain't got the truth, man.
Yeah.
Because if you got all these people worshipping Cesare Borgia and Serapis and Shiva but what have they done to change the world? Why is there world hunger? Why is there people fucked up in famine and destroyed? Why is there war? Nothing. Allah ain't changed the world. All these idols.
Yeah.
That's why I remember in X-Men Apocalypse. Remember when he came? He goes. He's basically banning out idols. And he said the world has been given to the weak, he said. He's basically like Yahweh Shai, you know? And then he said the world's been given to the weak and false idols and all that, he said. And that's basically what the Lord's going to do. He's going to come back and destroy all these false idols and establish the right way on earth, man. Yeah. Because this earth is totally out of order, man. You know, and guess what? In the midst of that, He's going to pull the elect from among all nations, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it says in Psalms 2, why do the heathen rage? And people imagine a vain thing. Yeah. They're thinking that this is cool, man. They're thinking they're pretty much Esau's in power. They're thinking this thing's going to continue. They think they can get away with what they're doing. They're different idols, all that. Hey, all that's going to be done away with. Yeah. When Yahushua comes, man, everything's going to be burnt up, man. Yeah. He said He's going to come with what? With chariots of fire. Yeah. Like a whirlwind, man.
Yeah, bring destruction.
That's what's coming.
Yeah.
Back in Maccabees?
Yeah.
This is back in Maccabees. The first Maccabees, I'll carry on from 11. Yeah. It says, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well.
Yeah, it pleased them. The scripture says it pleased them. Yeah. They were happy to follow the Grecian way of life, man. Yep. Just like today, because you got to look at what's going on. When you read the scriptures, you got to imagine it as well, man. And it also... You got to picture it. And then also you got to picture what's happening today as well. Because it's current. Yeah. Everything we read is current, man. Everything's reincarnated. Yeah. So when we see society today, what do you see, man? Bald NBA players with tattoos all over them. And, you know? And some of them, even, because this word's getting pushed, some of them know they're Israelites now. You know? But
even you had the Jews that back then, and they had a problem with the Greeks because they knew that in the time of the Maccabees, Judas Maccabees and his brothers and all that, they were basically dying
for the law,
for the law to keep their ways. They keep their customs and all that. But then you had the guys like this, the wicked ones that were going over to different heathen philosophies. Yes. So then the Jews were looking at them like, well, our forefathers fought for this. Yeah. So he's looking at the Greeks like, why did they deserve this? Yeah. But hey, the Yahushua, hey, this is about the elect. Yeah. That's what it's about. So. Yeah. Even though that they happen like that, the Lord has got His elect, man. So that's why it says neither Jew nor Greek, man. You know, it says Then certain of the people were so...
And then another thing, bro, we're all fucked up, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jake, we're Israelites, we're all fucked up, man. Even, you know, we're all messed up, man.
Well, think about it.
We're all fucked, bro.
You could have
We're everywhere. We're dispersed. We're fucked. We're in the lowly positions. So it don't really matter how much you know. It's really, we need Yahweh Shai.
I was gonna say, you could have a man, I'm gonna say like a Chinaman, right? Who thinks he's a Moabite, who's really a Jake, but he's thinking he's a Chinaman his whole life. He's been bowing down to Buddha his whole life. Then he comes across the word, and he's like, Yahweh Shai, and he just hears it. If he's of the elect, he could. And the Lord can do that at the 11th hour, the last minute. Pretty much, you can do it, man. You know, so that's how you know that we're gonna be gathered through the word.
That's how you know this is spiritual, man.
Yeah.
And we love it, man.
Yeah.
Spiritual, we love this, man.
Yeah, we love spiritual things.
We love that people, man. You got brothers like from the different tribes. Then you got a guy that looks like a Chinese guy side by side reading the word with him.
Yeah.
And brothers accept him because he's a Jake.
Yeah.
You know, but the world it looks crazy, but hey, the Lord's mind ain't people's minds, man.
Yeah.
The Most High's mind ain't man's mind.
Well, the Lord says he looks on the inward parts.
He looks on the inward part, man. The Most High is beyond us, man. We just got the gospel. You know?
And it says...
That's what these people don't understand. That's why you get these scoffers that talk shit. I'm sorry, I have to mention these fucks.
Yeah.
They talk shit. It's like, you just are just degenerates. Yeah. And you go on their channels and there's nothing there. But then they probably learned this knowledge yesterday. But then they're telling you got gooks in the camp. Or crackers in the camp. Or whatever the case may be. You know, I do that.
But that just shows that carnal spirit. Man, I don't know. I don't think a week goes by without a scoffer on my channel saying, you ain't of the 12 tribes and, all that shit. Chatting shit. But how you going to reply to every one of them, man? We ain't got time for that. The words are out there.
And then the joke thing is, bro, you're doing the work anyway. So that makes them look silly anyway. You got a guy that you're calling a cracker or whatever, a heathen. But then he's got the Bible in his hand proclaiming Yahweh Shai. And you're asked, what you doing? That's why the Bible said every idle word men shall speak, they shall give account for in the day of judgment.
Yeah.
And when that day comes, all this talking ain't going to matter.
Yeah.
Because judgment's going to be handed down.
It's going to be all action.
It's going to be all action.
Yeah.
So then that's when you're going to see people bitching and moaning.
Yeah.
Go on, man.
And it says, that certain other people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
So they fucking went so hard that they went to the king to plead with him to let us just keep these customs.
Yeah.
We don't want to keep
Yeah. It says, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised.
Because there's accounts of basically, I remember Apostle Ramlab going into it, they would sew foreskins back on themselves. Jakes and that.
Yeah.
Like, they would sew foreskins back onto their rods to basically be like the Greeks, basically.
And it says, and forsook the holy covenant. That shows that Jake goes in.
Yeah, they go in.
Wickedness.
That's hard.
Yeah. It says, and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief.
So then what does that mean, sold to do mischief? Basically, be wicked.
Yeah.
Because when you depart from the Lord, you're going into wickedness.
Yeah.
You're going into wicked philosophies. You're bugging yourself out.
It's the way of the heathen.
Which is the way of the heathen. So that shows you that Jake. He said Jake was doing that. Israelites.
Yeah.
So what if that happened then over a period of years? What do you think happened, man? They just basically totally lost their ways.
Yep.
Totally lost their ways, man. You know.
That's right.
Hey, man. You got anything else, Ak?
No, that's it, man.
Hey, man. The point we'll make the point is that the Gentiles and the Jews, when it says neither Jew nor Greek, they're Israelites, man. And we're going to keep saying that. We're going to keep teaching that because that's what it is. Because Israelites have been mingled, man. All right? Among all nations. But now we're in a time where the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is, Lord willing, going to deliver us soon, man. And get us up out of hell and raise us back up, man. Put us back in our right position, man. You know, change us, man. Hey, man. Hey, so with that, I just say, Barak the Yahweh.
Barak the Yahweh.
Barak the Yahweh Shai.
Barak the Yahweh Shai.
Barak the Yahweh.
Barak the Yahweh.
Barak the Yahweh
Barak
Shai.
the Yahweh Shai.
Barak for Yahweh.
Barak for Yahweh.
Barak for Yahweh Shai.
Barak for Yahweh Shai.
Shalom. All praises to Yahweh.
Shalom. All praise to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Ba'ashem Rakah
Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone.
Double honors.
And shalom to the brothers that are teaching this word, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, brothers. Shalom.